Want to learn how to make your own easy to peel die cut stickers with a custom tab using your Cricut? Then keep on watching. Hey y'all, Victoria Sheree here with Pretty Party and Crafty, and we're going to jump right into how to make your own easy peel die cut stickers with a tab. Now this tutorial is for Cricut users. However, if you have a Silhouette Cameo, I do have a separate video just for you. So the very first thing, you want to make sure that you have a clip art or graphic that you want to turn into a sticker. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using graphics from Moochcut. This is the bundle that I'm going to be using. It's their Spa Party Bundle. You can get it for $8. However, if you use our discount code Pretty Party and Crafty, you can get it 50% off. So you will only be paying about $4, $3.99, $3.98 for this. So it does come with a lot of graphics, perfect for any spa party or spa themed business for kids. So this is the bundle that we're using. Again, the discount code is Pretty Party and Crafty, and I will link that in the description. So once you have your graphics that you want to use as a sticker, then you want to open up Design Space. So with Design Space open, you're going to click the top right corner and select New Project. Now we want to bring our images into the canvas. So on the left side, you're going to select Upload, and then you'll click Upload Image. Now there's two ways that you can do this. You can click Browse and browse wherever you have your images saved. Or if you already have your folder open, you can just click on the folder and drag and drop it inside. Now, because I already have mine uploaded, I'm just going to hit cancel, but at this point you would go ahead and bring yours in. So once you have them uploaded, you're going to select the ones that you want to use. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. So I'm going to select this girl right here in the tub, and I'm going to select the lipstick. To select them both, make sure you hold down the Shift key and click on which items you want to bring in. And then you're going to select Add to Canvas in the bottom right corner. Okay, when your images come in, they're going to come in rather large because it is high quality images. It has a high DPI, so they come in rather large. All you have to do is resize it by clicking the top right corner of your graphic and dragging it down to resize. Make sure you click and hold and drag it to resize. Now I'm going to make this smaller once I'm done, but I'm going to leave it this size for now just so we can see what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to click off and I'm going to drag this to one side. So I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. I'm going to show you the simple way when you have a simple silhouette like this lipstick and you don't need a stroke or a border. And then I'm going to show you a more complicated way that you might need to use in case you have a graphic that has parts of the element separate. So for example, how these bubbles are not touching the tub. They're just like out in space almost. So we want to see how we would do that. So I'm going to show you both ways. Okay, so let's start with the lipstick. We're going to click on the lipstick, make sure it's selected. At the top, we're going to select Offset, and we're going to bring the distance to 0. And then you're going to click Apply. Okay, and when you're doing this, you want to always make sure that your image is on the top or in the front. So when we start duplicating, just make sure we always keep this at the top. Okay, so once we have our offset right here, we're going to add a tab and our text. So just figure out where you want your tab to be. It can be on the bottom, the side, the top. It's totally up to you. So looking on the left side panel, we're going to click on Shapes. And we're going to select a shape. It doesn't matter which one, but I like to keep things simple. So I am going to select the rounded square. Okay, and I think I'm going to put this on the left side. So you want to just make sure you have the rectangle or your square, the size that you want the tab to be. and make sure it's overlapping that offset slightly. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this over to see how it's going to look. Now remember I said make sure you always keep this at the front. So I'm going to right click and select bring to front just so I can see what it's going to look like. Okay, so that's where the tab will be. I like that. So I'm just going to move that off to the side. I'm going to select both. I'm going to right click, go to combine, and select weld. Now, whatever color this is, that's going to be the color of your tab. So if you want to leave it black, you can. If you want to change it to purple, green, yellow, it's totally up to you. Me personally, I'm going to change this to white in just a moment, but I'm going to leave it black so I can see where it's at. So at this point, we can add our text. So I'm going to bring this back on top. So right click, bring to front. I'm just going to leave it there for a moment and make sure that my text is not going to overlap the lipstick image. I'm going to select text, and whatever text you want to add, that's where you're going to start typing. So I'm just going to put XOXO Stephanie. Okay, you can select it. Make sure you change the font to whatever font you like. I'm going to select system and use fonts that I have on my computer. And I have something called Cherie. Select that. And then whatever color you want this text to be, you're going to change it to that color. So next to basic cut where it says operation, change that color to whatever color that you want. All right, that looks good to me. And then I'm going to resize it by clicking and dragging. And then I'm going to make sure that it fits over here. So I'm going to bring my line space down. All right, and then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and resize it again just to make sure it fits. All right, that looks pretty good to me. All right, so at this point, I'm going to change this because I do not want the tab to be black. I want it to be white. All right, and at this point, I'm going to select that silhouette and the text. I'm going to right click and select flatten. Okay, so at this point, we want to duplicate this. We want a total of 3 of these. So we're going to duplicate this twice. So right click, select duplicate. And we're going to do it one more time. Right click, select duplicate. Now remember, we want this lipstick at the front. So I'm going to right click, bring to front, and we're going to align all of these together. So we're going to select all of them and we're going to align them to the top. And because we have the tab on the left side, we want to align it to the right so that it is centered. So align to right. And once you do that, you're going to right click and you're going to attach. So at this point, this is going to be ready to cut. So it's going to do a kiss cut around the lipstick once, and then it's going to do a die cut around the entire design. And you'll see that in just a moment. But before we cut this, let's do this one. This is going to be slightly different because it has elements that are not touching the main graphic. So the very first thing that we want to do is create an offset. And this particular sticker, it's going to have a stroke or a border around it because we have these bubbles that are a part of the design, but it's not touching. So we want to make sure that those bubbles don't get lost when it's cutting. So again, make sure it's selected. Go to offset. And we want to make sure that the offset is high enough that our bubbles are attached to the design. Okay, so let me try this at a 180 and see what that looks like. 0.180. Okay, so it's going all the way around. All of the bubbles will be inside. That looks good to me. So we're going to hit apply. And if you want your stroke to be black, you can leave it as is. If you want your stroke to have a color, you can change it to any color that you like. But for me, I'm going to have this stroke to be white. So I'm going to change that color to white. All right, once you've made that offset, make sure that you have it selected. And what you're going to do is right click and select duplicate. Once you duplicate that, you're going to bring it over to the side, and let's just change that to black for now so we can see it. And then you're going to select your original offset in the graphic, right click, and flatten. Now we're just going to complete the same process that we did for the lipstick. So we have our die cut and we're going to add the tab. So we're going to go to shapes, choose our shape, and make sure that you resize it to the size of the tab that you want it to be, and make sure that it overlaps that offset. I'm going to bring the graphic to the front just to make sure I can see what it's going to look like. And again, just resize it and adjust it accordingly. Once you get it how you want it, just add your text. You can add anything. Again, you can add a name, your business information, your logo. It's completely up to you. And remember to use your system fonts that are saved on your computer. Make sure that you select system. All right. Don't forget to add it to your tab and make sure you resize it so it's within the tab, and you can change the color. Now we're going to select the tab and the die cut, and we're going to weld it together and send it to the back. Once I do that, I'm going to change the color to white because I want my tab to be white. Then I'm going to flatten that die cut and the text, and we're going to duplicate that. Remember, we want to have 3 total, so we're going to duplicate it 3 times. And now we're just aligning it to the top, and then we're going to align it to the right. And we're done and ready to cut. All right, before we get ready to cut, we have to print first. So I'm just resizing the stickers, making duplicates, and getting them how I want so we can print it first. Once it's arranged properly, go to the top right corner and click Make It. Let's select our printer. I'm doing the 8500 today. Add bleed is on. Use system dialog. I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to go ahead and click print and choose my printer and set my preferences. This is different for everyone. So mine is Rare Paper Feeder. I'm going to use a presentation paper matte, and then my quality is up to you. It could be standard or high, but again, it just depends on your printer. Now for materials, when you go to browse materials, we're going to select stencil vinyl. So you can either search for it in that search bar or go under the vinyl heading and select stencil vinyl. Okay, once you select it, we're going to go ahead and get our mat loaded. So let's go ahead and switch over to the overhead view of us cutting. All right, so of course we use Pretty Party and Crafty's Party Printables glossy sticker paper for this tutorial. And this brayer, this is my new favorite tool. We're able to add the sticker paper to the mat and clearly roll it on. And I sped this up really fast because for this to work with Cricut, it does have to do about 3 to 4 passes. That's why we duplicated it so many times. But besides that, you guys, it printed beautifully and it cut beautifully. So my mat is new, so it's extra sticky. So I had to get my spatula to help me get it off. But there were no issues. It cut all the way through without any problems. And let's take a closer look at each one. So you have the tab. You can add your name, your business information, makes for a perfect freebie. And it peels off easily. It's an easy to peel die cut sticker. Look, you guys, no complaints whatsoever. Okay, so you see the difference. You have one that had the white border or stroke, and then you had this one, this lipstick that didn't have any border or stroke. So hopefully you learned something new. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, comment for more. Yeah, this was a good project. Later, y'all.